Yo! That is a huge one. Oh yeah, beautiful. Today's episode is called Dunedin Blue Cod and Giant Paua Catch and Cook with Ben, Ryan and Kawe. Hey team, welcome back to Muddy Feet. In this week's episode I'm in the beautiful Dunedin and I've been hanging out with my good mate Kawe. I've been staying with him for a little while now and today we've very kindly been invited out on a blue cod fishing and diving adventure by Ben and his mate Ryan. Ben is the president of the Weti Otago chapter and he's invited us out on his boat for the day. So we pile aboard and make our way out through this absolutely stunning sunrise. Great way to start the day, and in no time at all we're pulling up to our first spot and it's time to deploy our baits. Right, deploy. What's our depth?
What was it? Yeah, 128.
Yeah. I've never used this reel before and I didn't spool it up. The people at Okuma did, so we'll see. See if it's got enough on there, if it's all braid, or I don't even know what's underneath. I'm about to find out. You guys might be able to tell by my croaky voice in this video that the weather down here started to take its toll on me and I got a little bit crook, but I didn't let that stop me, still out here doing it. Good looking birds, those mollymawks, eh? They look pretty cool, I reckon. Cool shades. I didn't have to wait too long until I got my first few nibbles, and I gave it a bit of a half-hearted strike, and of course that one was a missy tero. But I didn't have to wait too much longer, and something else came along, and I got a few more bites. This time I gave it a bit better strike and managed to hook up. It is 130 meters deep here and we're using, I think they're about 10 ounces, these sinkers. They're pretty hearty sinkers. So it takes a minute to get your fish to the surface, and when I finally do, this is my first catch for the day. It's a big dog, bro. Jockey of the day.
Yeah, that's a massive one.
Yeah, it's quite a big one.
Yeah, that's a good eat.
He'd be a good eater, eh?
Yeah, it's definitely eat it.
Might be breakfast, that one. That's quite a pretty fish. Shit, sorry, bro. Yo, on the board. I redeploy my bait, and as soon as it gets to the bottom, it gets attacked again, and wha-bam! I'm hooked up again, and this time it feels a bit more substantial. I'm hoping for a big blue cod. The jockey master.
Oh shit.
I know.
Yeah.
Little buggers.
That looks like you got it.
Three-way scraps on. Hit him, Toma. Down the hatch, eh? Doing something different on your side of the big Kawe. Shot, bro. Good. That's a good bluey. Big one. Straight back down there and straight back into it. I'm hooked up to another pretty good fish. This one feels a little bit heavier and I'm hoping it's the target species of a blue cod. After a pretty big haul back to the surface, I'm pretty pleased to see a blue cod coming up the side. I just about lose it to this cheeky bird here, but managed to get it on board. Right species. The bait's just good to keep going, eh? Yeah.
Goodie. That's nice, bro.
Yoo-hoo. Man, beautiful fish. Beautiful blue cod. Boom, in the bag. Wind's starting to look pretty good.
Yeah,
Things were going pretty well, but the day wasn't without its missy teros. As you can see here, this is a specialty double missy tero. Luckily for me, he came back, and the third time round, I made it count. Here we go. Oh yeah, big dogs. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Look at those for a couple of blueies. Yeah, those are mean, bro. Wicked. Yeah, that's proper blue cod fishing, man. Beautiful. Look at that one on the electrics. I have their place, the old electric gears, eh?
Oh, yeah, bro.
130 metres. Shit, that's a big blue cod. It seems like the bigger they are, the more that blue comes out in the main. It's more pronounced than those big ones. Things went a little bit quiet on my side of the boat just for a minute, so I pulled out the old secret weapon and tried to have a bit of a snack. And as soon as I did, I was hooked up. It worked an absolute treat. Doubles. It's bigger. Shark and the thing. Oh well. Little spiky dog, is it? You gotta watch out for the spine on the bugger. See that little sharky? Hold that up, bro. That is a huge one. Shot, bro. This one here feels heavy too, but I want to count my lucky stars. It is such a good fish, bro. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, that's my PB cod right there, alright. Yeah. Holy. Yeah. That is definitely my PB blue cod. What a donkey. Yee-hee-hee. What a beast, bro. Holy. It's only lip hook too. Yes, what a dog. Shot, bro. Whew. Hey, the donkey. Well, you guys all busy having smoke, eh? Hey, look at that for a cod. Ah, man. I reckon that's my lucky last fish. Shoo. Beautiful. Time for a snack. Oh. With the bins looking nice and full with big blue cod and some pretty good sized perch too, and our bellies full of pizza, we decided it was time to head off on the next part of the adventure.
Even if you go in there,
Right, boys ready to jump in? Jump in there, get ourselves a feed of pāua hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Might have a wee look around and see what else is there, but mostly focused on the black gold today.
When I first jump in, I'm pretty pleased to see that the visibility is actually pretty good despite it being quite surgy in here. So it should be pretty sweet for a dive. So I do a few drops just to stretch out my lungs and get myself nice and comfortable in the water and have a little bit of a look around. After a little bit of exploring and mooching around, I drop down and come across a patch that's holding a few quite good sized pāua. In fact, these pāua are massive, so I drop my gun just to mark the spot and go back to the top for a bit of a breather. After a good breathe up, I drop back down and find my gun, which is marking those big pāua, and using my nice plastic pāua knife, I pop a couple of those big dogs off the rock and make my way back to the surface. These pāua here are absolute beauties. Check them out. It doesn't take us too long to gather a good feed of pāuas, and it's time to make our way back to the boat. On the way, Ryan drops down and manages to spot a few crays, so we're going to have a quick look around this area just in case we can snag one of them too.
My ears aren't doing the best. Yeah, I'm pretty good too, bro. One more shot. Yeah, mate, go for it. I'll do one more as well.
I decide to do one more lucky last drop, and I'm pretty happy that I do, because I make my way down to the bottom. I have a little look in this first cave, which is empty, but then as I swivel around, I notice a couple of feelers sticking out of this crack over here. So I make my way over there and bam, I take my shot. It's not the best shot. I actually have to throw my left hand in there as well, and with my two hands I manage to get the crayfish under control and pull them out. Not a monster by any stretch of the imagination, but a very tasty sized male, and this one here is definitely coming home for a snack.
Oh well, that was a mean way to finish off a little dive. Managed to find a nice cray. Stoked, big pāuas in a cray. In there. Ooh. Big South Island pāuas. Dirty. Mean dive.
And just like that, my best ever blue cod fishing session and another epic dive were completed. So we headed back to the wharf. When we eventually did make it back to the wharf, we were greeted by this local sea lion. This dude here is absolutely massive. He cruised under the boat for a little bit of a look, then popped up next to us.
Big sea dog. Holy crap, that thing, eh?
He's massive, eh?
Yeah. I'm not swimming with him. Bro. Whoa. Holy crap, man.
Busy afternoon, bro. Still got our mutton hanging up too, bro.
Busy afternoon.
You do the fish, I'll do the mutton, bro.
Alright. Holy crap.
What?
Yeah. Oh, one escapee. Whoa.
I was stoked to get a bug. Didn't think that was on the cards. Righto, bro, what's going on over here?
Alright team, we've got our processing area all set up and we've started on processing our beautiful blue cod. We've got our delicious big blackfoot pāua and our perch. What's the other name, bro?
Jock Stewart.
Jock Stewarts as well is another common name for those. So we've got those to work through as well. And basically heads, frames and wings are going into here to be eaten later. And then our fillets are going over here. But this is the technique that the bro Kawe's just showed me. So I'll do my best to not muck it up anyway. Key as always, nice sharp knife. If you want a mean one, hit the boys at Sport Up. They always see you right. Right. Got a beautiful specimen here that Kawe's gutted and gilled. Yeah, I'm gonna rip into him. So we're just gonna whip fillet because the frames are all being processed too. So you don't have to be too precious about the meat on the frame. Just whip our fillet all the way off. Whip our fish over. And repeat. Two beautiful fillets. Now, paste the switch knives. Choose the bro Steph the Mouldy for the mean bone cruncher. Perfect knife for this job. So, bit of a tap there. Now head comes off into the bin. Then the frame. Bit of a tap there. We've got our beautiful wings and our frame. Right, now for our fillets, the secret that I've just learned is you put a little split right in the middle but not through the skin, and then you start off like you're going to skin it like a normal fish and you just stop there, and then you take your fillet, get your thumb under there, and once you've got a little bit started you just peel it off, whip off your little gut section. Beautiful boneless piece of fish. So that one goes into our filleted fish, that one goes in with our scraps, and repeat for the other piece. Now here's the real magic bit, is you get it all right, the bones all stay, all those centre bones stay attached to the skin. Skin goes in the scrap bucket. Another beautiful fillet of blue cod. Boom. Done. Me, bro. Lucky it worked that time, eh? How lucky was that? It all came together on the right one.
Yeah. The bro Kawe tells me the technique is that you need to kill these things and then let them sit for a bit so that they bleed out like this. He's just shown me the technique, so now I'm going to try and show you guys. Hopefully I get this right. Right. take our pāua, we put a little cross in it right in the middle, like that, and like that. And then see straight away that blood starts coming out. That's the pāua blood, that white juice there. So we're going to do that to each one of them, pop them in there, let them bleed out for a bit or let them die, and then start processing them. See that? So you see how these guys now are still fully alive? The reason for that is because we're using a proper plastic pāua knife, and it doesn't cut the pāua. Now pāua are haemophiliacs, so as soon as they get a wound they start bleeding and they can't clot, so they bleed to death. That's why it's important to use a proper pāua knife. And now you'll see as well, when I bleed the pāua, that blood comes out. See that straight away? Sorted. Dead pāua. Alright team, what we're going to do is we're going to take all of our big beautiful Blackfoot pāua out of our bowl and pop them over here, just because I want to show you guys why we give them a poke and bleed them out. So there was no liquid at all inside this bowl when we started, and if you see here, this bowl is quite full of the blood of the pāua. So they've bled out quite nicely, and all of that fluid has come out of the inside of the pāua. So we're going to drain that off, and then we're going to shell our pāua. All of that isn't going to go to waste though. We're going to pop that into the bucket with our cod guts and skins, and that's going to go into the garden and fertilise our tomatoes for next season. Alright team, so this is how I take one of these big beautiful pāua out of the shell, just so that you guys can see she's well and truly legal that way, and in fact this one is actually legal sideways, so it's a very good pāua. With the not too massive ones like this, we can usually just get our thumb in under there and pop them out, but with these real big buggers it kind of helps to use your pāua knife. And what I like to do is I like to take my knife and I pop it into the shallow end of the pāua, not the deep end, this nice shallow end here, and I pop it just under there until I can just feel it hit that hinge, just a little bit like that, and then I switch to my thumb, pop it under there till it pops out, and then I don't disconnect it completely from the shell. I leave it attached at this end, and I lift up this end, and I try to break that membrane there. I try to break the skirt just here with my thumbnail, and then hold that shell and tear that down, and then I put my hand on the top and try to pull that away, and then pull that hua away, and then I take my thumb right there and I'm going to press on that little magic spot and push it up and forwards and push those teeth out. Right, and then it just needs a little clean up and she's ready to go. So here's our beautiful pāua shell. Doesn't get much prettier than that. Got a special place for this one. Let's see if it actually is legal sideways. I think it might be, bro. She's a goodie. Yeah, legit. Legal as sideways. Beautiful pāua. Special.
Oh well team, that is about all we have time for here this week. I want to say a massive thank you to Ben, the president of Weti Otago, for taking us out for this week's adventure. I want to say a massive thank you to Kawe and his lovely partner for your hospitality during my time here in Dunedin. Also, all of you guys at home, if you want to see some more awesome content, I highly recommend checking out Kawe's page. Kawe is putting together an amazing initiative to teach the youth about connecting with the outdoors, diving, fishing, gathering and preparing kai. I highly recommend checking out some of his content. He is the man. Also, this delicious meal right here was prepared by Kawe's lovely partner. Thank you very much for this. And of course, to all of you legends watching at home, I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. If you do enjoy my content, remember to smash the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll let you know as soon as I drop something new. Anyways, have a great one and catch you back here real soon.